In this video, we're going to use Cursor to help us with our AI-assisted coding. Cursor is the AI code editor. Well, actually, there are several AI code editors out there, but Cursor is quite good. I like it. It's free. However, if you want to get all the bells and whistles, especially all the AI bells and whistles, you're going to need to pony up $20 per month. Currently, the interface looks pretty blank. The only thing that we note is the flight and weather.csv in the upper left-hand corner. This is because we are pointing to a directory with just a single file in it. In Cursor, if you click on that single file, you'll see all of the data, and it's flight and weather centric for February of 2021. And we're focused on airports in Texas, specifically Houston and Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, February 2021 was historically very cold, once in a century kind of temperatures. So what I'd like to do is look at a dual axis line chart to compare and contrast temperatures and flight cancellations to see if I can see any kind of relationship there. To do that, I'm going to need some Python to help me out. Within the Cursor interface, I'll click on Terminal, New Terminal to open up a terminal at the bottom. Notice that I get a message down here at the left-hand corner talking about a Conda environment. We're going to look at that in a moment. When you open a terminal, you could open it in PowerShell or Command Prompt. PowerShell works fine for me. Next, I'm going to select View and Command Palette to select an interpreter. And this is where my Python Anaconda interpreter comes in handy. In fact, it's necessary. You're going to need to have Python installed on your local computer. And using Anaconda is probably the easiest way to get this done. So Anaconda is simply a download. You download and you install it. And that will take care of installing Python in your local computer, but will also give you a lot of other resources that are particularly data-centric. Anaconda is used by 95% of the Fortune 500 companies, so there's a good chance that you're going to be able to download and install Anaconda on your local company computer. Back in Cursor, let's select View, Appearance, and Secondary Sidebar. This is going to open up our AI interface where I can see right away I've got a certain file here for context. And of course, that's the file that's open. That's important so that the AI can look at the data and understand how to build a solution. I can add other files if I wanted to as well to give the AI engine more and more information. I could upload a picture. So there's all kinds of capabilities built right here. I can choose different models. So notice that I have Claude selected. This is my favorite. Now, there's other good options out here to check out. Let's run a prompt now. I'll just read this prompt out loud. Return Python script to create a dual axis line chart where sum canceled is on one axis and min is on the other axis. Separate the lines by IATA. IATA is just an airport code. Create a tooltip that displays on hover, showing all fields. Also generate an HTML file to view the results. It's important to put good thought into your prompts. The more information and the more clarity you can give the AI, the better your results are going to be. In fact, I could probably add some more things here, but I think it's good enough to get started. So I'm going to click on Send in order to send this to the AI. Notice that the interface allows me to see the thinking process. It's really useful to look at this thinking process, particularly for troubleshooting. Notice that the AI is working on creating a Python script. And not only does it show us the Python script here, it actually creates a file. And that file shows up in our underlying directory. There it is, dual axis chart.py. Very nice, because Cursor is actually creating files, not just giving me queries that I can copy and paste. I'm going to select Accept File. Notice that I have an invitation here to install Pandas and Plotly. These are Python libraries. I actually already have these installed, so I'm not going to install them here. I'm just going to click on Stop. I will point out here that once you have a library installed locally, you can import that library. So Pandas is great for all kinds of data science things, including converting data types like we see right here. In other words, the AI looked at the data, saw flight date, saw the data associated with flight date, and now it's casting flight date as date time. Plotly is used for creating visualizations and interactivity, and we can see Plotly in action a little further down. I'll go ahead and click the play button to run the Python file. As I do so, we see some action happening in our terminal. And also in our navigator on the left-hand side of the interface, we see that we have a third file now, an HTML file. So I'm going to double click on this HTML file and note that my AI has very quickly generated a script that is showing me my data. And indeed, it is a dual axis chart. You'll notice the total canceled flights on the left, minimum temperature on the right. I've got a legend here. I've got some tools up here at the top. I can see that indeed there is a relationship between plunging temperatures and rising cancellations, as is particularly easy to see on February 16th. There are some things that I don't like, however. I don't like the distribution of colors. Colors are currently distributed by airport, and I want them to be distributed by metric, that is by canceled flights and min temperature. I also don't like the red. I would prefer an orange. Back in Cursor, I'll take a little closer look at the code, and I'll note that we have colors for each airport. And I'm hard coding colors to these airports. And I don't like that. And the reason why I don't like that is because my underlying data could change in time. Maybe I'm looking at different airports in the future, in which case this code would break. So this is rather brittle. So I think I'm going to give the AI some instructions to accommodate future changes. In the right-hand panel, I will ask the AI to make some changes. We're going to color on T-min and canceled, not on IATA. I'm going to ensure that the code can accommodate future changes, including differing numbers of IATA and different IATA other than DFW and IAH. And let's use orange in place of red. I'll hit send. The AI is going to go and think about this for a bit. Great stuff to read, especially for troubleshooting. Notice that it's working with the dual axis chart.py, which is the file that I have open right now. And what we can see is that not only does Cursor create documents, it can actually edit documents. Here, it's presenting some possible changes, and it's asking me if I want to accept these changes. Those changes that are highlighted in red are for delete. Those that are highlighted in green are for adding. And I'm just going to click on Accept File to accept all of the changes. So it's a good idea to look through all of those and get a better understanding of what's happening in the code. Now I'll run this Python file again, go back into my directory and reopen the HTML file and look at the results. So now we're using orange and blue. We're also coloring on our metric so I can more clearly see and more quickly understand that blue is associated with my cancellations. I can see the increasing number of cancellations as the orange temperatures start dropping. There's other changes that I might want to make here. I kind of want to swap the colors. I'm not sure if I like the dash lines or not. I do like the markers. We can make any change that we want. We just need to go back to the AI, describe those changes clearly, and work with the AI engine until we get exactly what we want.